just going to play through the first section and just noting that we're using a capo on the 2nd fret and the guitar's in standard tuning, so no problems there. So here we go. Okay, so for the first chord shape, we're going to be using our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the thick E string. Okay, so just note that after the capo, this is the 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret. Okay, so that's 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the thick E string, and we're going to be plucking this using our thumb of the right hand, and we need to pluck it with the open B string using our index finger. Okay, so we get this sound. Okay, so after you've done that, you need to pluck the D, G and B strings all open consecutively, so we get this sound. And that's the first part. So for the next chord shape, you need to put your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret and then your 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. Okay, so now, and then we're playing the same thing in the right hand, so we're getting this. So that's plucking the thick E using your thumb, the open B string, and we're then plucking the D string, G string and then the B string. So when we add that to the first part, we get okay, so to work out the next shape, we need to remember that we're counting from the capo, and we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this next shape has the 7th fret of the D string using our index finger, and the 9th fret using our 3rd finger of the A string, and then we're playing the same sort of shape with the right hand but just a slight variation. So it's going to be plucking the open E string, thick E that is, and the B string together, and then we play the D string, the G string and then the A string. So together it's, if we add that to the first 2 shapes, we get okay, so that's the first 3 shapes of the song, and then we need to go to the 5th fret of the A string. Okay, so remember counting from the capo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's with our index finger on the A string. We need to pluck that one with the open G. Okay, so we get that sort of sound. Okay, and we also need to have our 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the D string, and then we just pluck the A string and the G string together, and then we need to pluck the D string and then the B string and then G, so we get okay. So then add that to the first 3 shapes. Okay, and then the next shape we need the 2nd finger on the, well, it'll be the 8th fret. Okay, from the capo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we play it with an open thin E string. Okay, so we get that sound. Okay, then after that you need to pluck the G, B and open E string afterwards, so we get, and then we need to drop down to our 1st finger on the 7th fret, so we got, and then after you played that note, we need to play an open G and an open B quite fast. Okay, so it goes, and then after that we need to bring our 2nd finger down to the 7th fret of the B string and use our 3rd finger to play the 8th fret of the B string. So it's got, so add that to that last shape. Okay, so in the next shape, we need to actually work out the fingering first. So if we start with the 2nd fret of the G string on our 1st finger, and then we need the 4th fret of the G string using our 3rd finger, and the 5th fret of the G string with our pinky. Now you need to hold this shape down before you start playing, okay? So we need to go straight to that shape. Right, so then we need to pluck the A string and the G string together. And after you've done that, pull off the pinky to the third finger, so you get that shape. Okay, so it's quite a fast pull off. And then we need to play the 5th fret again by itself, so we get this, and letting the A string ring out. Okay, it's a bit slower. That's what we're getting, okay? Okay, and then the next part is just simply playing the 2nd fret of the D string and then open B, so we get this all together. Okay, and then the next shape we've got is the 3rd fret of the thick E string and the 2nd fret of the D string, using our 1st and 2nd fingers like that, and it goes. Okay, so that's just plucking the thick E, D string, G string and open B string. Add it to the last shape and we get. Okay, for the next shape we need to bar the 2nd fret of the G, B and E strings with our 1st finger, and then place your pinky on the 5th fret of the B string, and then we're plucking our open D string and the 2nd fret of the E string, okay, so we get this. And then what we're doing is playing the G, B and E string consecutively. So together we've got, I'll do that again slowly. Okay, then straight after that we need to play the 3rd fret of the A string and then the 2nd fret of the G, okay, so we should have that shape to end up with. Okay, so then we need to tuck our 3rd finger in down on the 3rd fret of the thin E, and we're sliding to the 5th fret. Okay, so add that to the last shape. Okay, so I'll play it a bit slower. The next shape, we need to play the 2nd fret of the A string with our 1st finger, the 3rd fret of the B string with our 2nd finger, and the 4th fret of the D with our 3rd finger, okay? So this time we're plucking the A and B strings first, so we get that sound. And then straight after that we need to play the G and D string, okay? So it's got like that, okay? And then after those notes we need to play the B string again, G and then B again. So all together we've got, okay? Play it a little bit slower. Then that takes us to the next shape, which is playing the 2nd fret of the thick E string using our 1st finger, and the 3rd fret of the B string using our 2nd finger. And by now you want to stretch the pinky over to the 5th fret of the G as well, so we get this full shape looks like this. Okay? So this time we need to be plucking the E string and the B string together, and then the G straight after, and then you want to take your 2nd finger off to reveal an open B string and play that one. So we've got, okay, and then we need to play the G string again, so it goes, okay, I'll play it slowly. Okay, so that takes us to the next shape, which we're just moving our 1st finger up a fret, so we're up to the 3rd fret, and still keeping our pinky on the 5th fret of the G there. And we pluck the E string and the G string together, and then the open B, and then we take this shape off and play the 7th fret of the D string. So we've got, and then open G, so we've got, and then that takes us to the shape we did earlier, which is our 2nd finger on the 8th fret of the thick E, and plucking that with the open E, and then playing the G, B, E, so we've got, and then we go to a sort of C shape. So if you know your C chord down here, then just move it up 2 frets and we've got this shape. So that means you've got your 1st finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, second finger on the 4th fret of the D string, and third finger on the 5th fret of the A string. Okay, and we need to pluck our A string and B string together, and then we need to hammer on this second finger onto the 4th fret from an open string. So you've got, so add it to the first part, we've got, and then we play an open G after that, so we've got, and then an open B, so, and then we go into the next shape, which involves putting your first finger on the 1st fret of the B string and playing an open A with it, so we've got, and then an open G, and then we're playing the same note with an open D string and an open G, and then we just go back to our first shape there, okay? And that takes us to the end of this section. Okay, so let's play that last part slowly. And that takes us to the end of the first section. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. And if you'd like to leave any feedback, that would be great. And just on another note, I also offer Skype lessons, so if anyone's interested in that, then please email me using the address below. Thanks very much.
The waves are broad and trade.